If you're looking to replace your HVAC system and you went out and got a couple quotes from contractors, it might have been a slap in the face. So you're probably asking, do HVAC systems really cost that much, or is somebody trying to swindle me? So there's really two reasons why HVAC systems cost so much. The first one being is there has been huge price increases for the last 3 years on HVAC equipment. The other reason is the contractor. Sometimes they do overcharge. And in this video, we're going to be covering both of those topics. And then we're also going to cover how to get the best deal whenever you're looking to buy an HVAC system. Oh, and a real quick side note, we publish all of our prices online. So if you want to look at pricing from an actual HVAC company, in the description below, you can check out a link and it will take you to our full price list. Hi, this is Kenneth with Atlas AC, and at any point during this video, if you find it to be helpful, please hit the like button. That will really help me out with the YouTube algorithms. All right, to start off with, let's cover the topic of how much equipment cost has increased in the last couple years. So traditionally, manufacturers will increase their price at the beginning of every year around 4 to 5%. However, in 2021, we experienced 4 price increases at different times throughout the year. All those price increases accumulated up to more than 35% for HVAC equipment. In 2022, we had 2 price increases, which accumulated up to around a 10% increase in prices. So in the last couple of years, our cost to purchase HVAC equipment has gone up around 50%. And now in 2023, the government mandated SEER 2 equipment is rolling out, which is increasing cost around 15% for the lower SEER AC units. So equipment cost has now increased in between 60 to 65% in the last 3 years. So you might be asking, how in the heck has pricing gone up 60 to 65% in 3 years alone? So I'll probably make another video in the future on how this has happened. It's just too much to unpack in this video. And now for my sponsor that you need to buy from because it's going to make me rich. Nah, I'm just kidding. I don't have anything to sell you. So now let's shift gears and talk about the elephant in the room, which is contractor pricing. So the easiest way to explain contractor pricing is to use the automotive industry from the 80s and 90s as an example. So in that time frame, there was no blue book or internet, or a matter of fact, there's just nothing that unified the industry as a whole when it came to pricing. So if you're looking to purchase a used car, you are forced to go down the road to a auto dealer somewhere. And since there's no standard for pricing, they can put the sticker price at whatever they thought they could get away with. And since there's no quality standards in that time frame, they would add sawdust to the gearbox the night before. So whenever you test drove it, it sounded and ran like it should. However, the key to their success all revolved around the salesman. So what they needed were unknowing customers to come to their lot so the salesman can sell them right there on the spot before they left. Because if they left, the odds are they were not going to see that person again. And some of you watching this video are going to be like, hey, this is extremely similar with what I've just experienced with a contractor. So just like the auto industry, HVAC contractors will set pricing at whatever they think they can get away with. From there, they need a salesman that can sell you right there on the spot because, again, if he leaves, that means the odds are you're going to shop around and find somebody else. So now it's probably starting to make sense why there is no transparency about any information in this industry because they need the salesman in your home. That's right. The person coming to your home, the comfort tech or a technician or whatever the role that they call this person to come and look over your equipment to give you an estimate, that's a salesman. And they are 100% commission only. That means they make no money unless they sell you something. So one of the key tactics in this industry to help the homeowners from looking at the bottom line and how much the actual system is going to cost is they leverage financing. So they want you to look at how much you're going to pay every single month, and you go, hey, I'm only paying $85 a month for the next 30 years, that's not a big deal, right? Until you realize that's more than $30,000. So I am over exaggerating to make a point here. So pretty much nobody's going to offer a loan for 30 years on an HVAC system. But what I am saying is do the math because it's going to add up to way more than what you're thinking. Also, if they're offering you 0% financing or financing in the single digits, you're going to want to watch my video on financing because I'm just telling you, you're paying a lot more interest than what you think you are paying. There are a couple different ways that contractors will go to market. For example, some companies will sell a basic bare bones AC system for around $20,000. That's right, as much as a car. And the way that they do it is just very similar to the auto industry. They lean on financing. While we will be selling a similar system for around $7,500. So these type of companies tried to frame themselves as a high value company, meaning they're going to bend over backwards for you, and they actually really will. They're going to offer things like 24-hour service or same-day install or just additional features like that. Now, whether or not the additional service is worth $20,000 for a bare-bone AC system, that's just going to be up to you, the homeowner, to decide. Then there are other contractors out there that end up being casualties of the status quo of the industry. So what I mean by this is they end up listening to the gurus of the industry. They'll say things like, you're going to want to lease the latest and greatest work vans on the market, and then you're also going to want to put a $5,000 wrap on it just to make sure you got a billboard driving down the road. Or you're going to need this $5,000 a month CRM that bolts onto your current software so you can better track customers. You're also going to need a giant facility for all your staff and warehousing and inventory. And the list just keeps going on and on and on. So it's basically death by 1,000 cuts. And all the little things end up adding up to a lot. And this type of HVAC company is going to end up making up the majority of AC companies in the industry. And these companies are going to be charging in between $10,000 to $12,000 for a basic 3-ton AC system. And again, we're going to be coming in around $7,500. So now you're probably saying, okay, Kenneth, I understand equipment prices have gone up and then there's a bunch of different contractors charging different rates. But how do I get a good deal on a new AC system? Okay, so step number one, you're going to want to make sure that you live in our service area. And if for some reason you don't live in our service area, you're going to want to uproot your entire life, move to Texas so you can get cheaper air conditioning. Okay, so all kidding aside, there are a couple things that you can do to help generate a lot of quotes from contractors very easily without having to deal with a salesman coming to your home. So to start off with, what you're going to need to know is exactly what you have right now and exactly what you're going to want to go back with. So if you currently don't know what you have right now, or you don't really know exactly what you want to go back with, I have a buyer's guide that we created and many of our customers use it, and it really narrows down exactly what you're going to want in your house. And yeah, it helps a lot of people. There's like 11 steps to it that it covers that are kind of critical in the buying process. So you might want to check it out. I'll put a link in the description below. So after you know exactly what you have and exactly what you want to go back with, from here you want to put together a list of potential candidates that you might want to buy from. So as you're making the list, you're definitely going to want to check out the reviews. And one of the best places to look over reviews is the Better Business Bureau. And so you can go to BBB and check out everybody's reviews. And the reason why BBB is the best is because it's a lot harder to hide bad reviews. So like, for instance, in Google, there are, softwares that people will use to basically eliminate bad reviews and things like that. And as you're reading the reviews, you're going to want to look at it in the light of, is this an authentic review? Because there are people that will go and buy a bunch of reviews from a third party or something of that nature. But if you're looking for it, a lot of times you can see right through it. Okay, so now you got your list together of your top 5 or 10 companies. And now the next step is to start working that list over. So in our company, we communicate with people any way that they want to. So if you're a phone person, you can call in. We'll help you that way. Or if you prefer text messages, we got that covered. Or if you even do emails, that's also fine. Heck, we'll do smoke signals. So the point is, we live in the 21st century. So if you prefer calling, texting, emailing, most contractors are also going to be able to respond to you that way. That being said, the phone is the best mechanism to use because there are going to be some contractors out there that are just hesitant to quote over email or text messages. So now this is where it becomes important to know exactly what you have right now and exactly what you need to go back with. So the two pieces of information that you need to know about your current system is the size of it and the type of it. So let's say you have a 3.5-ton gas system. So the information that you're needing to know in regards to what you're wanting to go back with is going to be the size, the type, the SEER rating, stages, the brand, and then any additional features that you want to add to it. So let's say that you're wanting to go back with a 3.5-ton gas system that's 16 SEER, 2 stages, carrier, and for features you're wanting a Remini Halo UV light. And that's enough information to get a ballpark quote. So now you're going to start calling down your list and you're going to say, hey, I got a 3.5-ton gas system and I would like to replace it with a 3.5-ton gas 16 SEER 2-speed carrier with a Remini Halo. So then you're going to say, in a perfect world, if all my ductwork is good, if my electrical's fine, and it's just a simple take out the old and put in the new, how much would you charge for that? They might ask you a couple different questions, or if you can even send over some pictures, but by the end of it, a lot of times you can get some sort of number out of them. Now, if you live in a region where the contractors are just saying, hey, I have to come to your house to give you a quote, there is a strategy that you can use that, funny enough, I actually learned from some of our past customers. So what they would do is when they would schedule the contractors to come out, they would schedule them only about 45 minutes apart. And what this did was it only gave the salesperson enough time to look over the equipment, put together a quote, and then review the quote with you. And by the end of that, the next guy was knocking on the door, which then you got a quote, and it had little to no pressure put on you, trying to strong arm you into buying. And now, after a long day of hard work, it probably felt like pulling teeth, but now you got a stack of quotes that you can start looking through and seeing like who's actually giving you a good deal and who's not. So after you were able to whittle down which contractors that you're considering, then it literally just falls down to who do you trust the most? And this is actually should be the most important factor of when you're purchasing a new HVAC system, because if you're dealing with a shifty company, then I promise you, you're going to get the short end of the stick. Or even if you're dealing with a fly-by-night one trucker, then like what happens when something goes wrong? So as you're working with various contractors to track down a good deal, you also want to put some emphasis on making sure that they're a good company. You want to vet them because not only do you want a good deal, you also want to make sure you're working with a good company as well. If you made it to the end of the video, you might be interested in checking out some of our other information, like our buyer's guide or our price list, and that's from an actual HVAC company. And you can find the links in the description below. Until next time, have a good one.